shows if it's on, so if it's green or if it's
What was the name of that video?
That was, it was David Archuleta on there. I don't know, Jan and I got to go see him when he was here in the Tri-Cities. Pretty good guy. That was, Jan, that was like the best Christmas song ever, or the most wonderful Christmas song ever, something like that.
The one we just played, yes, that's the title of
Yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah, the piano guys. Yep. And, of course, we have, actually, I can do this and probably actually.
Yeah.
All right.
You're whistling, Bill, no?
The batteries are new, but it's not. We're still not working.
I'll get you different batteries.
Jan told me, says, try it first after you put the batteries in. I go, nah, it'll work. It'll be fine.
They're moving.
I know they are moving, but nothing's coming out, so that's interesting.
Well, put it up in front of your face, go ahead and talk for it.
Lower your voice. Good one.
Yeah. We see dummies on TV all the time. But that's how we discover it.
Oh, well.
How do you mean, how do you- Go take a picture.
Oh, it sings. And little mouths flutter and it moves. I can't remember. It does sing something though, because I can't remember what it sings. I can't remember. Thank you. Oh, this has nothing to do with anything, but this actually is kind of cool for the Tri-Cities. The guy that has the diners, dives, and drive-ins, he actually is going to have Frost Me Sweet, Porter's Barbecue, and Barley's, which is in Kennewick, on his show. They're going to do one on Tri-Cities. So how cool is that? So, ta-da, right here in River City. So, and you know, even though nobody ever calls this River City, but I mean, we've got like 3 rivers that converge right here, like one really, really big one, the Columbia River, and the Snake River, and of course the Yakima River, but yeah, and yet nobody ever calls us River City. Of course, I guess there's lots of river cities across the country. So, our patron saints are George Carlin and John Lennon.
Hey, George.
So, they thank you. John said, reality leaves a lot to the imagination. Indeed it does. Indeed it does. And George, when you think about it, attention deficit disorder makes a lot of sense. In this country, there isn't a lot here to pay attention to.
That's a fact.
Sometimes. And more t-shirts. And I'm not making fun of vegetarians because, you know, I'm about as close to one as you can actually get. So, but here's a t-shirt. Vegetarian, ancient tribal name for the village idiot who can't hunt, fish, or light fires. Yeah, that ought to get you in trouble. I want to be a nice person, but everyone is just so stupid.
I need that one.
I don't have a short temper, I just have a quick reaction to bull. I just want to go fishing and ignore all of my adult problems. Yep. Some things are just better left unsaid, and I usually realize it right after I say them. So, yep. All right. Famous quotes. A really great man is known by 3 signs: generosity in the design, humanity in the execution, moderation in success. So, nice. And here is a neat prayer, actually, and it's actually Shakespeare that said this. O Lord, who lends me life, lend me a heart replete with thankfulness. So,
We need that for our book.
I know, isn't that nice? I mean, I really do like that. Yeah. And to the generous mind, the heaviest debt is that of gratitude when it is not in our power to repay it. I said that one last week, but that's a good one to say again. It's a good one to say again. So, Da, 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 da. The very first singing telegram issued by Western Union was delivered by an operator named Lucille Lips to American vocalist Rudy Valley on July 28, 1933. In honor of his 32nd birthday, she sang, "Happy birthday to you."
I'm singing telegram.
Yeah?
My birthday when I was about 7.
Yeah?
My grandparents.
Wow. Fun. Oh, I laid the book on it. Sorry. Huh? Okay, things that make you go, this is a Flemish proverb. What is said when drunk has been thought out beforehand. A Bosnian proverb. Huh?
Could you do that other one again, please? I couldn't hear you.
Which?
The first one that you just
Oh, the one just, oh yeah, yeah. What is said when drunk has been thought out beforehand.
really.
So, and this is a Bosnian proverb. Who lies for you will lie against you.
Oh, yeah.
Dang. Adlai Stevenson. The cruelest lies are often told in silence. Sometimes true. Sometimes true. Little kids asked about what's love? What does that mean? Carl, age 5. Love is when a girl puts on perfume and a boy puts on shaving cologne and they go out and smell each other. Chrissy, age 6. Love is when you go out to eat and give somebody most of your French fries without making them give you any of theirs. So, ta-da! Anything else going on? Any good Christmas parties I should know about? Nothing? Nothing? Yeah.
Oh, the snack left, yeah.
Oh, when's the snack clock?
Oh, I probably should
You want to do that about? Yeah, it'd be a great time. Actually, here, let me grab the calendar. All right, you ready?
Oh, I was like, what?
You ready for this? It's right there.
Oh, good job, good job. Okay, I have to put my coffee down there for that one. All right, so this is the 16th through the 21st. Christmas is just around the corner. OMG. Let's see, Qigong was this morning, every Sunday morning, 9:50.
Isn't that nice? Microphone still works.
It's not going in and out, I know it. And I don't have to hold it all the way up to my mouth. Let's see, 17th, Monday, clearing chakras, 6:30 to 8 with William and Sandra. Tuesday, drum circle with Daryl, and that's goes from 7 to 8:30. Tarot certification practice. Janice, are we opening that up to people to come if they'd like readings?
If you'd like a reading,
Yes.
join us. Our
We-
ladies will practice on you.
Yes, and they do need, they are so awesome, and they need other than just us to practice on. They need some others that they haven't practiced on yet. So please, if you feel guided to, or if you're free, it's from 6:30 to 8. Just, anytime you can show up and we'll pair you off with somebody. ARE is canceled for Wednesday, so there's nothing going on Wednesday. Thursday. Thank you. Thursday. Let's see, Art and Soul is from 10 to 12 on Saturday. National Short Person Day is Saturday. Yeah, that's on the calendar. Can't make it up if it's on the calendar. All right, so... What is considered short? Yeah. 4 foot nothing, 5 foot nothing. Snack Luck, next Sunday? No, the 30th, thank you for the reminder. The last Sunday of the month, the 30th, we're going to do a Snack Luck and a prayer vigil. So anybody who is needing prayers for themselves or somebody else, even a pet, please join us, bring something to share. We're just going to do snacks, but we will sit and we will pray with you. Or you can sit quietly somewhere and just, prayer, do your own prayer silently, out loud, whatever you would like to do, but we're going to do a prayer vigil. So it'll be right after services on that Sunday. And I'm still selling tickets for the pet basket, which has kitty and doggy things in it. If you don't need it for yourself, you don't have a pet, maybe you might need it for somebody else. Joe and I talked about maybe donating it to the, if we win it, to the animal shelter. So, ideas. $1 ticket.
Could I have them?
No.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of the prayer warriors. I posted that my brother is in remission. He has multiple myeloma cancer. That's extremely rare to go into remission. But I know that all of your prayers have done that.
Prayer warriors.
What was that in the back? What?
Your coffee.
That's okay. We don't need the microphone. Just what?
Are we still doing the vintage?
No, not this year.
Not this year.
Yeah, it doesn't have the energy.
All right. So, I know I've done this one before, but according to this, I haven't done it since 2008. I think I've actually done it since that time, but we'll do it again. A priest, a Pentecostal preacher, and a rabbi all served as chaplains to the students of a Northern Michigan University in Marquette. I'm just looking to see if I saw any little kids, because I know how this one ends. They would get together 2 or 3 times a week for coffee and to talk shop. One day, someone made a comment that preaching to people isn't really all that bad. A real challenge would be to preach to a bear. One thing led to another, and they decided to do an experiment. This is not going to end up good. They would all go out in the woods, find a bear, preach to it, and attempt to convert it. 7 days later, they're all together to discuss their experience. Father Flannery, who has his arms in a sling, is on crutches, and has various bandages on his body and limb, goes first. Well, he says, I went into the woods to find a bear. And when I found him, I began to read to him from the catechism. Well, the bear wanted nothing to do with me and began to slap me around. So I quickly grabbed my holy water, sprinkled him, and Holy Mary, Mother of God, he became as gentle as a lamb. The bishop is coming out next week to give him his first communion and his confirmation. If you're not Catholic, that makes no sense to you at all. So, Reverend Billy Bob spoke next. He was in a wheelchair with an arm and both legs in casts and an IV drip. And in his best fire and brimstone oratory, he claimed, well, brothers, what we don't sprinkle. I went out, found me a bear, and then I began to read to the bear from the God's holy word. But that bear wanted nothing to do with me, so I took hold of him, and we began to wrestle. We wrestled down the hill, up and down the next hill, and we came to a creek. So I quickly dunked him, baptized his hairy soul, and just like you said, he became gentle as a lamb. We spent the rest of the day praising Jesus. The priest and the reverend looked down at the rabbi, who was lying in a hospital bed. He was in a body cast, a traction with IVs, monitors running in and out of him. He was actually really in bad shape. The rabbi looks up and says, looking back on it, circumcision may not have been the best way to start. So there, that's my in poor taste today. So, it's still funny. All right.
So, have a little bit of housekeeping to do. How to say this? I'm not your mother, so I don't want to come across as your mother. However, just little housekeeping things. Every Sunday, it's been reported back to me that every Sunday somebody's having to come and clean up coffee spills. So if you have coffee in the sanctuary, please put a lid on it. It would be a whole lot less fun if all of a sudden coffee was no longer permitted in the sanctuary. So it's just, this is your church home. Take care of it. Take care of it. And here's what happens here is sometimes we talk about some really ethereal stuff and your brain is going, I don't know, what? I don't know. I gotta think about that. And your body forgets where it is and you're gonna kick over your coffee. It just happens. It's no shame, no blame. But if you put a lid on it, there's less likelihood of it going everywhere and being a huge mess. It might be just a little dribble rather than a big, huge mess. So if you would do that, that would be really, really nice and much appreciated by the person that frequently has to come along and clean up. Also, would you mind putting your cell phones on airplane mode? I think it's funny when a phone dings when we're talking. But there are others that it's come back to me that it really is a distraction. Because again, people are getting in this place of, well, what's she saying and how does this come, how does this apply to me? And then a phone dings and it brings them back into everyday world. So not hearing a phone ding would be a blessing to them. So if you'd be so kind, it's either off or airplane mode, that would be great. Mine's in the office in the other room, so if it goes off, I apologize, I haven't done it yet. Because I forgot. So sometimes we just need reminders. And then the last thing. When I'm chatting with you, I have a general idea of what's going on. Sometimes I have no clue. And I listen for whispers from source to give me that information of what's next. And when you whisper, I'm distracted by that. I think it's like, oh, I need to pay attention to that. And then it's like, oh, no, she's talking to somebody else, so I have to. Meantime, I'm still talking, and my brain is trying to do this other thing and pay attention. And so I'm paying attention and not paying attention, paying attention and not paying attention. And it's tiring. It's exhausting. So if you would be so kind as there's note cards in your pew in front of you, write your buddy a note. Okay, to do that, instead of whispering to them, just write them a note. And then there's other people that have mentioned that there's the whispers bother them. Again, pulls them out of this. Does this relate to me? How does this fit for me? How am I going to function? And to have that experience break them apart is really hard. You want to walk her out? Thank you. Do we need to call 911? No. Okay. No. Okay. Counting on you to tell us what you need. So now it's time for a prayer. I think let's include Misty in our prayer.
Yes.
He's got his cheaters today.
Oh, you're going to stand up here.
Front and center, sir.
This prayer is called Prayer for Awakening.
He's got it.
Hello. This prayer is called Prayer for Awakenings by Janice Lynch. All that is, awaken me. Bring me into the light of love. Shake me out of my shield awareness. Stir within me the desire to awaken fully. Remove fear so that I may see more. Remove doubt so that I may perceive more. Enhance my perception so that I may sense more. Restore the light of love within me so that I may know more. Shield me with the light of love so that I may be more. So may it be.
Thank you. I want to chat with you today. Did I turn myself off? I know, I got it. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm not sure if we're going to need. La 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 la. There we go. Okay, so no, this one's off. Are we okay?
We're okay with that.
Okay, so I'm supposed to be thinking and connecting and have chaos. It's just a
Well, that should
challenge.
be working okay. I don't know what's going on. Sheesh.
And exhale, release that. Thank you. Wonderful. So the title of our message today is, And Then. I was sitting at the computer and normally I have message title by, is this on? Is this loud enough? So have a message title by Monday and I send information out via email. Do you get my emails? Yes. If you don't get my emails, I need your name and your full name and your email address, and then I can add you to the email list. So, because I send topics, and I send what's going on, and I send a channeled message from the Ancient Ones. And you'll want that, trust me. So anyway, I was sitting at the computer going, I don't know what we're going to talk about. So, I heard, and then. I thought, well, we could talk about this or that or the other thing, and then. Well, I could talk about, and then. I thought, oh, and then, there's our message. I had no idea at this point what that's about, so I just posted, and then. So, and then, I had time to ponder about what and then was about. So I looked up all the and thens in the Bible. If you have your cell phone or whatever, you can go to Bible Gateway, and you can type in a word or phrase, and it'll find all the Bible verses for that. And you can choose whether you want it in King James Version or New American Standard or whatever you prefer. It's awesome. So I looked at all these and thens, and there's like a gazillion of them. And it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious because it was, here's this troubled, difficult thing, and then there was something wonderful that happened. There's something amazing happened. There's something powerful that happened. So this and then, I was like, well, God, but why are we doing and then now? This would be better after the first of the year. And it came to me, well, solstice is just around the corner. So solstice is this wonderful time of change, time to shift, time to do it differently. And then I was shown this and then pattern that I think will really be helpful for you, where you can state your story of what has been happening in your world, your struggle, whatever it is, and then what we're going to choose to do differently. But we're going to start with as if it were a story. Once upon a time, or he did this, or he experienced that, or she experienced this other thing, and then the new situation comes up, and this creates space for change. We're going to use part of this after the first of the year in goal setting for the new year, because part of the goal setting will be recognizing where you're coming from and what you're ready to let go of and what you're willing to move into. So let's talk a little about what we're experiencing that maybe we would like that to shift, but we haven't shifted yet. So what's something that you're experiencing that you would like to shift? Confusion. Okay, so using the pattern that I just set up for you, he was once confused and then he found clarity. See how that works? And then after the 21st, say that every day, maybe first thing in the morning, first thing at night, and then on the 21st go, I was once confused, and then I became clear. Make sense? So what else are we struggling with? This can be really fun. Yes, negativity from others. She was downtrodden by the negativity of others. And then she realized her worth.
Excellent.
That make sense? That cancels all that. And then it's like, well, that was then. And this is now. And now it's different. And it's that, and then is the shift moment, is this pivot point. When I was, when Phil and I first moved here to the Tri-Cities after living in Texas for a while, I grew up here, my family's all here, so we would go to family gatherings. And I don't know if your family's like my family, but I was always the odd one out. And so I found that if I left a family gathering early, that they would talk about me. So I stayed till late. I thought, oh, I'll solve that. I'll just stay late and help clean up, blah, blah. Then they would get on the phone and talk to each other, and then I would later hear about it from my mother. And then one day, and Phil and I were dead broke. We never said that word, but we were watching every penny. We had just come through a terrible financial disaster. And so we had to watch what we did. But I had an executive position and I needed to dress for it. So I found this really cute jacket and it was on sale. It was a great color. It fit me perfectly. So I wore that to a family gathering. And from that moment on, and then people commented on my clothes. She has the most interesting clothes. I wear a different scarf, plain Jane sweater or plain Jane shirt, and then a pretty scarf. Oh, that's a lovely scarf. And if it was given to me, I could talk about how it was given to me, or if I found it, I could share how I found it, and that became the topic of discussion. And it stopped. Now, did I change? Maybe I did. Maybe I found something that, oh, that suits me, I feel really good. Maybe my confidence was in a place where people didn't have to pick on me anymore. I don't know. Maybe my emanations were different, that people didn't have to send that back to me, that I had learned the lesson of my own value and I didn't have to hear it out of the mouth of somebody else. But at the same time, it changed. It was an and then moment. These and then moments are pivot points. So you get to have an and then moment right here, right now, and change everything. Change everything. And you don't have to know how it's going to change. I was depressed. And then I found joy. I was stuck in my sugar addiction, and then I discovered how good I feel on real food. See how the and then works? So what's going on? Let's use our little flip chart. I want to hear from you. What's going on in your world? We want the and thens, do we not? Ugh. And then she had a backache. No, cancel. And then she learned to carry the board more effectively. Okay. Yes.
Anxious. I'm anxious because I'm starting a new job tomorrow.
Okay, so she's anxious. She's starting a new job. Congratulations on the new job. And then?
And then.
And the and then is? And then she discovered her new home. And then she fit right in. And then it was the best thing ever. And then she slid right into what she needed to do. And then she was welcomed by, and then, right? So which one do you want to pick for yourself? Of all of those. And she did get a raise. How about, can I offer you one?
Yes.
Because sometimes you need an outside opinion. And then she realized how good she was.
Oh, that's a good one.
See, can you see she picked it up?
That was it.
What else?
How easy a change was.
Overwhelmed. Okay, and yours was?
How easy a change was.
To the end.
Change
Oh, that
for
was
the
Yes.
consistent.
She realized it was easy. It got to be easy. And yours was?
uncertainty.
Uncertainty, and yours was?
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Let's start with overwhelmed. she was overwhelmed, and then she found peace. Well, you're kind of looking like, I don't know. How about, and then she took the next right step? That feel better? Because peace is kind of like, then she just screwed the whole thing and didn't do it, you know. Because there's peace in that. but overwhelmed is often there's just too much. So, or maybe, and then she became centered.
She realized it wasn't all about her. She wasn't alone.
She realized she wasn't alone.
Yeah, or spirit guided her to meditate.
Or spirit guided her to the next right step. Which of those feels right to you? All of the above probably, but if you could pick one. Okay. Then she found center. And yours was?
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. C-E-R-T-A-I-N-T-Y. Spelling and Spirit doesn't care about spelling. Have you noticed that? I know. So you got it? You got it? Yeah.
I mean, she was filled with knowing.
Ooh.
Good one, Cindy.
That's all the help we can get.
And here's the thing with uncertainty and being filled with knowing. When we're trying to figure it out and we don't have the answers and we struggle, we cut ourselves off from that divine intuition.
From the divine knowing.
From the divine knowing. So if we can notice, hey, I'm feeling really uncertain, and then recognize that we can be filled with knowing, then that knowing happens. Make sense? And then what is right for you will bring itself to you. It gets to be effortless. Yes, ma'am?
She felt unimportant.
Unimportant.
And she realized her worth.
Yeah, then she realized her value. Then she realized her worth.
Not angry.
Okay, angry. She was angry, and then
She realized the story she was telling herself.
she realized the story she was telling herself.
That's a good one.
That's really good, brother.
Why are we smart?
How do you know the right channel?
What else?
Worn out.
Worn out. Would you stick that on the door over there for me, William? Thanks. Worn out. Whoops. Who said that? I want to know, was it he or she? So she was totally worn out, and then she regained her power.
How about frightened?
First of all, let me check in on this one. Does this one ring true?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, power.
You're right? Okay. And what was the next one? Frightened. Can I say fearful? She was fearful, and then
Felt comfort.
she found comfort. She felt comfort. Does comfort make you less frightened? No. Is fearful? What would be?
Reassurance.
Reassurance?
She
Strength?
realized she was never alone.
She realized she was never alone. Which of those feels right?
The strength one.
She was frightened, but then she became aware of her strength.
There. That's it.
How about lonely? Alone. He felt alone, and then
He realized it was impossible.
it He realized it was impossible.
He looked around.
He looked around. Say, what was that again from the universe? How about, then he connected in. How about that one? What was it?
Then he went fishing.
Then he went fishing. He connected in and went fishing. Oh, fishing was how he got connected in. Yeah. Betrayal. Okay. Felt betrayed, and then
Found her truth.
yes. Self-doubt. She was feeling self-doubt, and then
Are these all for Andrea's new job?
could be if they apply. I think they could be for me.
Or me. Or me. I think so.
Yeah, I think we all are picking up on this. She felt full of self-doubt, and then how about she awakened to the truth of who she is.
Oh, that's good.
Then she woke up.
Yeah. Judgmental?
Judge your own personal judgment, like I'm being judgmental and I don't like that about myself, kind of thing, or somebody judging you,
Judging me, yeah.
or both.
Being judged.
Let's just do both. Make a word out of that. Okay, so she felt judged and felt as if she was judgmental, and then
She realized that everyone around her only has an opinion. She's the only one with a vote.
how about we shorten that up to she found compassion.
That's good. I was going to say
Now here's the thing. Haven't you felt shifted already?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you find compassion. It doesn't matter how you wake up. It doesn't matter how you find your truth. That will be revealed to you. That will be gifted to you. You don't have to do that. You just stay here in the and then. You be in the and then. And everything else opens up. So should we go over these again? I think they're wonderful.
Can you do one more, Janet?
Yes, I can do one more.
Hopelessness.
Hopelessness. He felt hopeless, and then
He felt loved.
felt loved.
Call him
There's more here.
And then he prayed. He found his truth.
And then he prayed. He found his truth. Oh, we're right there. Can you feel it? It's building.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good.
He felt hopeless. Oh,
And he saw a glimmer of light.
that's it.
His own ability.
Yeah.
Or,
She felt hopeless.
how about this one? Light found him.
Yeah. He felt hopeless and discovered the path of hope.
Then he discovered the path of hope. I like light found him. So let's read these. Can I review here just a sec? Because I think these are... I thought our problems were solved. And then...
Come on, finish it.
Dare I? So, if we make it this fairy tale story, because really, whatever we're experiencing, if it's not love and light, it's just a story. If we can move ourselves into this and then moment and recognize it's a story we're telling ourselves. Now here's the thing. Sometimes life has served this up to us over and over. Are you taking a picture of that and I'm in your way? Okay. Life has served up for us over and over and over to validate the lie, to validate the untruth, until we get to a point where we're ready to shift. And then when it shifts, it never goes back. Never goes back. Because you can't unsee, you can't unlearn, you can't unhear, you can't unfeel. I want to share a Bible verse with you, and then we'll do this. I'm being led to do this right now. This is one of the and thens that came up for me. This is in James chapter 3, verse 17. But the wisdom from above is first pure, and then peaceable, gentle, reasonable, full of mercy and good fruits, unwavering, without hypocrisy. And the seed whose fruit is righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. If you want peace, you start with pure wisdom. And it's wisdom from above. It's not our own understanding of how things is. It's this divine wisdom. This is divine wisdom. This is not something that is natural to us. What's natural to us is to go, here's how it is, it's always been this way, it's always going to be this way, and I feel terrible, and I just don't like it. Yep. That's normal. Well, we're the new normal, people. So the new normal starts here. And the new normal is you get to be happy. I get to be happy. This happens. Being anxious happens. Being overwhelmed happens. Being filled with uncertainty happens. Feeling unimportant happens. Feeling angry happens. Worn out, fearful, alone, betrayed, full of self-doubt, judged and judgmental, hopeless. How many in here have never felt any of those? For the camera, not a hand went up. So this is the common humanality of us all. That is humanality a word? I don't think it is. It is now. And then we get to do it differently. Because we're human, but we're also vessels of light. We're the spiritual being. And we can change. And when we change, the world changes around us. So, I was anxious, or let's do it still the old story. Because I want to shift it over into the I and then I on the 21st. Which is what day? What day is the 21st? Friday. Friday. So Friday. So you have from now to Friday to tell your story with an and then, and make it the third person outside of yourself. Because it's important for you to see it first. Be it first. And that's why this message was brought right here, right now, today, for us, for this very reason. So she felt anxious, then she realized her value. She felt overwhelmed, then she found center. She felt uncertainty, then she was filled with knowing. She felt unimportant, and she realized her worth. She felt angry, and she realized the story she was telling herself. Let's shift this one and move out of the story. What else? Once she discovered, that's the and then. Realizing the story is part of the and then. And then she laughed. She laughed. We want a result on that one. She was worn out. Then she regained her power. She was fearful. Then she became aware of her strength. She was alone, or he was alone. Then he connected in and went fishing. She felt betrayed. Then she found her truth. She felt self-doubt. And then she woke up. She felt judged and judgmental. Then she found compassion. He felt hopeless. And then he saw a glimmer of light. The light found him. How does that feel? Doesn't that feel wonderful? Whatever experience you're in, whatever experience you're having, and then it. And then it. Because life is fleeting, is it not? There's a law of impermanence. The law of impermanence is anything that can change will. We can change. Life circumstances can change. Phil and I were homeless and destitute. We're not anymore. Hallelujah. Things changed. I was suicidal. I'm not. Not now. Things changed. Because of the and then moments upon which we pivot. And when you pivot, your whole being shifts. I can't see that stuff anymore because I'm looking over here. So let's do a guided meditation.
So if we do this until Friday,
Do realize my value. Make it personal.
can I add something, Janice?
Sure.
A lot of times when I find I'm anxious or I'm judging or something, I realize how much I have to be grateful for.
Yes.
And gratitude changes everything.
Gratitude changes everything. You're absolutely right.
So it just popped in my head and I thought I'd share that.
Yes. So I was anxious and then I found gratitude. There's another key to that. So for the next 5 days, make it an outside story of something you're observing. She did, he did, they did, whatever. And then on Friday, shift it to I. I was overwhelmed, and then I found center. I was full of uncertainty, and I am filled with knowing. I became filled with knowing. Does that make sense? So whatever your I statement is, or whatever your and then statement is, did you write it down? You might want to. There's cards in your pew. Please do that. And if you have something different and you want me to help you with words for that, we can do that. Just let me know.
Difficult when you feel all of those at the same time.
Yes. She felt all of these at the same time, and then she shifted. And then she went to church.
Janice,
Yes, ma'am.
what was the passage from that you read?
James chapter 3. I'm going to move this over here for now.
Oh, you told us.
3:17, I believe. So let's do a guided meditation, shall we?